All righty. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, everything is working and is in working order. Ooh, okay, let me make sure that I'm there. You go. Have to make sure everybody knows that we're going live today. All right. Hopefully, we'll get the Behance crew going. Oh, hello. Hello, Daniela. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, let me stop my let me stop my little banner. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the stream. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. I'm in Brooklyn, and yeah, it is hot, extremely hot. So I'm happy to be inside and streaming today. So if you're new here, welcome to the AGF Design Studio channel. Welcome if you're tuning in from Behance, and welcome if you're catching the replay. Thanks for, catching up with us. We're going to be working in Adobe Fresco today, doing some lettering. I'll be continuing a piece of lettering that I had started before in a previous stream, which will be linked on my channel. But yeah, we're just going to keep going, and I'll walk you guys through my process. And maybe we'll even finish the piece today. We'll see. Hi, Moyana Art, tuning in on Behance. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Daniela says she's from Chile, but watching from Denmark. Pretty hot here too. Oh my goodness. Wow. International crew today. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, the weather, but it's summertime, so what can we expect? So I'm gonna jump in and get things going. So yeah, just super laid back and casual stream. Like, feel free to ask me questions while I'm working. And yeah, Moyana says they're from Tunisia, North Africa. Wow, so cool. Welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. I have no idea what time it is where you guys are, but it's still morning time here, so I'm still kind of starting my day. So I figured I'd hang out with you guys a little bit for an hour, maybe more. We'll see what the schedule allows, but yeah. So this is a piece of lettering that I started, like I said, on a previous stream in Adobe Fresco. This is my out of office message because I need a vacation. It's been a very busy summer. I'm happy to be busy, especially as a freelancer, but it's always important to take breaks. So this is what has inspired this piece. So where I picked off from last stream. So last stream, we had done our thumbnail sketches, we had refined our sketch. And at this point that we're at now, I am putting on top a layer of more refined inking with a nicer brush. So it's nice and crisp and doesn't look like a sketch anymore. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Moyana says it's 4 p.m. there. Wow, okay. So your day is like more over than mine is. So I have not opened this this document since the last stream. So what I really love about Fresco is that they have a recent brushes section for you, just waiting right at the top. So I know the 3 brushes that I was working with, so I don't have to try and magically remember from 2 weeks ago what brushes I was using. So I was using the Comics letterer brush to start filling in some of this other lettering here, so that's what I'm going to do. All right. I'm curious if anyone's working or in school or studying or just hanging out and just relaxing today. I think I should have, besides this stream today, I think the rest of the day is looking pretty relaxed, I think. I hope. Had some deadlines today, but yeah, just tying off some projects that I can't wait to share. But until then, we just send off the final artwork and wait, which is the hardest part, I think. So nothing super like crazy or difficult with this, just literally tracing over my refined sketch. Pretty simple. And using that nice snap line feature so that my lines are nice and straight. So every time I make a line that I want to be straight, I just draw it and hold it, and it'll become nice and straight. So I don't have to worry about it. So let's see. We pretty much have broken up this process so far into two live streams, but depending on how much we get done today, it might become a third one if I choose to, I don't know, animate some of this. I've been doing a lot of projects for work that require like GIF creation and animation and stuff like that. So it's been pretty, uh, I guess it's sort of in my head. There's just like, oh, but what if this moved? So maybe we'll think about animating this as well. We'll see what everyone says. Curious to know if anyone has already tried Adobe Fresco, is learning Adobe Fresco. If you already, if it's like part of your main, suite of apps that you like to use, it's definitely my most used app because I'm always using it to create work for clients. I use it for my personal work. And I've been using it, I think, for the last year and a half now. And just in that time, they've already done so many updates. Like when I first started using it, they didn't have animation yet. They didn't have like half of the things that they already have in here. So now is a great time to start using Adobe Fresco if you haven't already started using it. Just because it's so versatile, like you can pretty much do everything, including animate, which is why it's kind of in my head too. So I don't know. We'll see. Hmm. So the basic technique that I'm doing just to save myself time is I'm just tracing the outlines of these letters, and then I'm going to go in with the fill tool like I did with this of here and just fill it in so that I don't have to spend so much time coloring by hand. Oh, okay. Hey, Danielle, that's super cool. Daniela said, I want to start with Adobe Fresco now that I'm watching your stream. I just make letters and Procreate. I mean, that's totally fine. I started uh, using Procreate definitely, but I've since transitioned over to using Adobe Fresco since I use all of the Adobe Suite programs anyway, so I just find that Adobe Fresco works really well with all the programs that I was already using and paying for. So I was just like, well, I might as well give this a try, and it's been really nice using it. I also like that in Fresco you have the option of using pixel brushes and vector brushes, which is really nice. So you kind of get more flexibility with the kinds of things that you can create. So if you also like to use other programs like Adobe Illustrator or just like other vector-based programs like that, uh, Adobe Fresco has vector support. So it makes it a lot easier to transition your work between those kinds of programs if you need to. Let's see. One of the best parts of doing personal work is that you can just kind of take your time. Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah, Daniela didn't know that Adobe Fresco used both pixel and vector. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like the more I discover about Fresco, it's like, oh, it can do that and that and that. So it's very robust in its capabilities. So, and there's updates happening pretty much monthly. So there's a lot on the horizon for sure. So instead of tracing for that E, I'm just going to use my lasso tool to isolate the top part of this F. And I'm just going to copy it over and paste it to over here so that I don't have to spend time redrawing that part. I'm just going to lower the crossbar a bit. Copying and pasting letters is in no way an invalid workaround. Everyone does it. With digital, we have all the flexibility and capabilities to sort of cut corners where we can, and it makes working a lot easier and faster. So by all means, use the tools at your disposal. Oh, hello, Asep. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. Please let us know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. I am in Brooklyn right now. It's very hot. We've got Daniela in Denmark, and we've got Tunisia, North Africa, over on Behance. I'm really embarrassed to say that I don't know flags that great, so I'm sorry, Asep, I don't know what flag that is. I'm a bit embarrassed. All right. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm just going to use my fill tool to just fill these letters in, nice and dark. Pretty seamless, very fast. You don't have to worry about spending so much time coloring everything in individually. The fill tool is great for that. Okay, so now in the last stream, I remember seeing that this first O here is a little thick. So I'm just going to adjust the weight of this O. I'm probably just going to redraw it, honestly. So let's do that. I'm going to delete this and I'm going to redraw this O. So before I had shown everyone in the previous stream a trick that I like to use to make sure that the weights for my letters are consistent, because part of what can make your lettering look cleaner and tighter is consistency of weight. So I pulled up these little red dots before to just sort of double check the weight of my line across these letters. So I think I'm going to, before I was going to adjust the U and the T to the weight of the O, but now I think I'm going to do it the other way around, just so, yeah, because these are pretty even and consistent across, I can see. So that's good. Now I have the weight that I need for my O. And I'm just trying to be mindful as well of my guidelines and my angle lines. So I have my guidelines in place to remind me that I'm not drawing my O completely straight up and down vertical. It's going to be tilted a little bit at an angle to match the angle of the other script letters that I've drawn. So that's also why drawing your guidelines in is super important, because it helps you double check yourself. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to duplicate my O. I'm just going to scale it down slightly until it pretty much matches within the weight of those two circles. And I might have actually even overturned it a little bit, so let's adjust that a bit. All right. So if you're ever drawing a letter O, this is all digital, like I said, so we have a lot more flexibility than we would if we were using a regular pen and paper. So I just duplicated to create the negative space for my O. So that made it nice and easy. So I'm just going to fix this up. Some of these spots are a little jagged. All right. Ooh, that's kind of flat. Sometimes I'll draw my O, the bottoms and the tops of my O kind of flat. So I just got to make sure that they're nice and round. So that it looks like an O and it doesn't look like a sad flat tire. All right. Is anyone up to anything fun today, or anything fun for the summertime, or whatever season it might be where you're watching this? I'm not even sure if it's summer everywhere. That's not a thing, right? Every part of the world has a different season, so it's summer where I am, but I'm sure it's not summer in like Australia, probably. So now I'm just filling in a little bit of these gappy parts because I just want it to be nice and opaque, especially for when we add color. It'll be nice and dark and flat, and it'll look cleaner that way. All right, so we've got some letters. We've got some letters. Again, this is using, or I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm using the comics letterer brush, which you can find under the lettering category. I've starred it because it's one of my favorite brushes. Any brushes that you really like or that you find yourself using a lot, you can just select them and just star them. And then they'll always end up in your favorites section. As you can see, I have a lot of favorite brushes. Ooh, and I accidentally changed my brush. Okay, there we go. Now, speaking of summer and brushes, Kyle T. Webster, he just released his summer brush pack, which is now available for instant download straight from Fresco. So if you've already got Fresco open or it's downloaded already on your device, you can just go to add brushes at the bottom there. Oh, I think I might be covering it a little bit. But it's at the bottom. You can just hit add brushes and then hit discover new brushes. And the summer 2022 brushes are ready for download. And also you'll be able to see all of the other brushes that are available all the way back till 2018. So he releases brushes seasonally. So since this is all summer themed, maybe we'll end up using some of his summer brushes today. Maybe we'll take a look at those. So cool. I've got my letters in place and pretty satisfied with how everything's looking right now. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to multi-select. I'm using the touch shortcut. I'm just like, I had a brain fart right there. This button is called the touch shortcut, and I'm just using it to multi-select 3 layers. And I just hit that folder icon to group them. While I am a professional, I still have a lot of messy layers too. So don't feel bad. But as I progress in my piece, I do try to sort of group things together so they're not in my way. And so I don't have to scroll so much to find whatever it is I'm looking for. And maybe start deleting some stuff that I know I don't need anymore. All right. Much better, much cleaner. So now I'm just going to do these illustrations. So to create this little sun, I just used a drawing aid. So if you go to the bottom right-hand corner, you press and hold, you'll see that you have access to the ruler, the circle, the square, and the polygon. Super useful. So if you're ever in a pinch and you need to draw a perfect anything, the drawing aids are there for you. No worries about having to figure out how to somehow draw a perfect circle, because I don't think that's possible. So I've got a nice circle there. And I could technically use the drawing aids for the triangles too. Let's see. If you ever want to add or delete sides, you can just tap the little minus key or hit the plus key to add or remove sides for your polygons. All right. Oh yeah, that's a good square. I mean, a good square, a good triangle. Can you tell? that I'm tired already. It's only like 11, it's barely 11:30. I don't drink coffee. I don't know if any of you are coffee drinkers, but I don't drink coffee. Gives me the jitters. It doesn't really give me energy. It just makes me feel jittery. So, all my energy comes from sleep and making sure I get enough sleep. But today is Thursday and the week is almost up, so I think I'm sort of running on some residual energy maybe from earlier in the week. Okay, so one of these doesn't line up, but that's okay. The lasso tool is one of my favorite tools because I can just wrangle anything, isolate it, transform it, and get it to be wherever I need it to be. Oh, greetings, Alexander from Germany. Thank you for tuning in. That's really awesome. Where in Germany are you? Germany's like on my list of places that I want to visit. I really want to go to Berlin. That's where I want to visit. I've heard good things. So now I'm just going to fill in the clouds. All right. So, like I said, it's nice, cool, casual. I'd like to do these streams on a weekly basis if my schedule will allow. So be sure to like the video, appreciate it, share it with a friend, catch the replay. Uh, all of it really helps and also helps me gauge if this is helpful to you guys. So Alexander is wondering what I'm doing. So I am lettering this piece in Adobe Fresco. The basic inspiration of this is an out of office message because I need a vacation. So just like a fun, personal initiated project. Could post it on social media, could put in my email, for my clients, letting them know, hey, I'm not available right now. Just something silly and fun to letter to show how I work in Adobe Fresco with my lettering. So, yeah, that's what we're working on today. Right now, we're sort of, well, I don't know if I'm going to really need this part, but I'll do it for demonstrative purposes, I guess. But right now, I'm just putting down some finalized line work. I had done everything. Oh, thanks, Alexander. I had done everything in pencil with the pencil brush before. So now that things are more, finalized, I changed it up to the comics letterer brush. So yeah, okay, cool. So we've got a strong base of letters, illustration, boom. So you might ask, what do we do now? That's a great question. So, well, could start adding some color, some dimension. Usually, yeah, this is around the time when it's just like, okay, I've got some pretty interesting things happening right now, but how can I take this a step further? Oop, accidentally erased that. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. So I've got a little bit of a tentative color palette chosen, so I'm just going to see if I can fill this in quickly. Ooh, too much fill. Too much fill. Will that fill? Okay. Sometimes I misfire. I like misaim. Okay, yeah, that piece doesn't really want to fill. Okay. That's okay. Okay, so got a tentative color palette down here. So it's cool. That looks really off center. It's cool that in Adobe Fresco you can now, when you import photos, it'll do automatic color palette Um, like it'll create a color palette for you based on the photo that you import. So that's where the color palette that I'm using is coming from. That's why it says, what does it say? It's like IMG 1916. I don't even know what the photo was. I don't remember, but I'm sure it was summer themed. So I'm just like adding some color to this sun here really quickly just to sort of get a feel for things, start adding, some color elements. Um, to color the sun, I used a clipping mask because I believe in non-destructive editing whenever and wherever possible. So I like to use a clipping mask just in case I want to change my mind later. I always have the option to change the color to something else, and it doesn't like degrade, the quality over time if you make too many edits. So, okay, so we've got that. Pretty sure the background's going to be some form of blue for sky and stuff like that. So let's see. Okay, I don't know that I like that blue. Let's see what we've got with our HSB sliders here. Do you want something brighter, more or less saturated? That's what kind of gloomy. You have the option to use HSB sliders, or you could change them to RGB sliders if you want, whichever you find better and more helpful. That's probably really close to the same blue that I just used, but I'm going to keep it for now. Oh, hello, Katharina. Hi, thank you so much for joining in. Where are you tuning in from? Appreciate that that you think it's looking good so far. This is definitely a work in progress, and you guys get to see everything unfold in real time. So just having fun and exploring. Probably goes without saying, but I'm gonna make my clouds white. It's like I'm not really feeling a fantasy color palette for this. I'm just like, no, it's just gonna be pretty distinctively it's summertime. um, and then this line down here is not for water. Maybe you thought it was water. I'm not sure, but it's it's supposed to be like sand or something. So I've got a plan for this, and I wonder if it'll work. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Let's explore. So what I'm thinking is I have this brush, this Syrah brush. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Um, which I think I downloaded from an old brush pack from Kyle like a while back. I don't remember where this brush is from, but I'm thinking because it kind of has a like a grainy sort of look to it, I think it might look kind of like sand. So I'm hoping it'll work. You can see like the brush stamp preview too, like has these like sort of speckled pebble look to it. So I'm like, okay, let's see if I can kind of, well, I guess I'll just sort of do this ghosted to see. Ah, what do you think? I think that kind of looks like sand. I think I could add a little bit more colors maybe as well, sort of make it more convincing. Katharina, let us know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. But yeah, okay, this is great. I think I'm like, I think it's convincingly sand something or other, or looking something like that. So yay, I'm happy this kind of worked. What I might end up doing is, ooh, tuning in from Vienna. Very cool. More places I've never been. Really, like I said, I'm like, this whole thing is inspired by the fact that I need a vacation. So I'm adding all of these places to my idea list. Um, I'm wondering if I darken this a bit and add more to the back if it'll kind of add in more convincing effect. And possibly more, just like more color variation, because it's like, I don't know, sand looks different colors maybe. It has different colors in it, I think, maybe, possibly. But anyways, that's the basic idea. It's sand. We'll we'll fix it up more as we go along. But now we're gonna work on the letters more. So I've got some basic roughed out, initial color choices for some of these surrounding elements. Wonderful. Yay, we're getting there. So what I'm thinking is we're going to try it out. We're going to see how um, out of office looks with a nice, 3D effect on it. So I'm just going to multi-select these layers that have my lettering on them. I keep everything separate. So the lettering is separate from the background, which is separate from the illustrations and stuff like that, just to keep everything nicely organized. And I have to choose a color for this. So let's see. In my palette, I have some I don't know, sort of feel like fun beach colors. Like, I don't know. Thinking, well, I don't know. Raise your hand if you ever have a hard time choosing colors, because I do all the time. Like I love okay, that's really bright. Um like I'm thinking no matter what, that of will be a different color from out of, or from out and office, just to sort of, I don't know, just to sort of have some sort of visual distinction, especially since it's against the sun. It's like sort of already its own separate idea. So I kind of want it to stand out differently from the rest of the lettering. Oh, thanks. Katharina says, that sounds nice. And I think it's pretty cool that you share your progress in live streams. Yeah, this is a whole new world for me, Katharina, to be honest. I mean, I've been on Adobe Live twice, which was lovely. But I'm just like, wow, okay, I have, my own platforms and, lovely audience. Let's, let's hang out and, just, yeah, share our process and just sort of see what happens. So I am very happy that you find it helpful and nice that I share my process and stuff like that. I will continue doing so as long as people want. As long as people find it interesting, I think we'll be good. You know, I don't hate this pink. I think I just want it to be like maybe I just need it to be a bit paler. We'll see. We'll see. So let me see. Hmm. Do I like this color? It's like a lot brighter now. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to one we had before because I kind of like it. And again, I did everything on the clipping mask, so we're not committed to any of this, and we can change our mind at any time. So, for the sake of time and the process, I have now duplicated my layer of lettering, and I'm just going to offset this on an angle to give this a little bit of dimension. Oh, greetings to Penny, tuning in from London, UK. Lovely. Thank you for tuning in, Penny. I have actually been to London once, and it was lovely. I stayed, where was I? I was in Shoreditch. It was very nice. I felt very at home. I felt I was among other creatives or something. It felt like a very creative kind of community out there. So I would love to go back sometime. Okay, I may have offset this maybe a little bit too much. But basically, this is the idea. The idea is to, yeah, give it a little bit more of a visual oomph just to sort of show you the before and after. So this was before. Yeah, it's fine. We're kind of flat. We could push this a little bit more though. So just toggle that on. Oh, that's awesome. And he says, love Shoreditch. Agreed, very creative area. Yeah, there was just so much lovely street art as well. I was just like, wow, this is so cool. Um, so I gotta go. I gotta go back. So what am I gonna do for this? I could do any number of things. I could just sort of create like a darker version of my background color. Just sort of create a nice contrast. Oh, I think we got stuck there. So now we've got some gaps in between our top layer of lettering and our 3D offset. So we're just going to take our comics letterer brush again and just start filling in these gaps. For this part, I don't know if there is a workaround. As many shortcuts as I've found for things, this is not one of them. I always have to go one by one and fill in each gap for these 3D effects, but it ends up looking ooh, pretty cool in the end. So I think it's worth it. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So, oh, I think. Oh, I'm not sure what time it is in the UK, Penny, but not sure if you're up to anything fun. If your day is already over, if you had a good day, hopefully. But yeah, the day is just pretty much getting underway. Started here in Brooklyn, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do after this. I think. Well, I did mention I have some deadlines today, which I think I'll be able to finish in time. Pretty much just making sure all of our files look nice and neat before we send them off to the client. Who else does that where they name their layers, you know, they pretend like they've got their lives together so that when you pass your files off to your client, they don't, they say, hey, what is this? I think that is one of the only times that I will ever name my layers. Yeah. Keeping up appearances. All right. So yeah, pretty like not so terrible way to add just like a little bit more, pizzazz, a little bit more spice to our lettering. I really like doing like 3D effects like this and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if you have like a favorite kind of effect that you use, but I like to use it as well. Let's see. Oh, nice. Penny said it's almost 5 p.m. here. Just finished work, so tuned in about to open at Fresco soon and draw along. Awesome. Yeah, it's like nice. I mean, like I work from home and I'm just like a freelancer, so I don't have any formal coworkers who I check in with. So I like to think of these live streams sort of as a checking in with fellow creatives and coworkers. So I don't feel so by my lonesome all the time. Katharina says, haha, guilty of that as well. Yeah, I'm just like, my layers are not going to be named. Sorry. Not on a normal day. Okay. So we've got some 3D lettering here. We've got a little bit of illustration. We did some fun things with the sand at the bottom. But where else can we take this? So I'm thinking we could add more texture-wise as well to this. So I'm just gonna, I'll see. Hmm, I think it's just like a matter of what sort of style I want to do. Kind of like a polished or like a bubbly style or like a rough textury style. A lot of these, actually, maybe looking at some of Kyle's summer brushes will sort of inspire something in me. I haven't really looked at these yet. I like his brushes because they're just like always have such great texture to them and such great personality. So it's just like, oh, I had no idea I could ever create that with this. Um, so yeah, just for like funsies, let's try out one of these brushes and see what it looks like. Oh, I think I already did it. I think I already touched the screen by accident and made a mark. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. It's called like Aztec. Yeah, Aztec. Okay, so that's got like a lot of pattern going on. So not sure that'll work for this piece, but still interesting. I mean, look at that. Look at that texture. Like that's kind of insane. Yeah, like he absolutely like obliterates and goes in when he does these. So I'm thinking I'm gonna add some texture to the background as well, just to give it a little bit more, something back there. So I'm gonna, let me see. Sometimes, hmm, we'll experiment and take a risk. I like to just sort of experiment sometimes. So I'm just gonna like duplicate my background layer just in case this sort of blows up in my face and ends up looking terrible. um, but I'm just gonna grab like another blue color, something different looking, something. This is different. Does this look different? Because like I don't want it to have so much difference. I just want it to be different enough. I'm just gonna like make my brush larger, and then I'm just gonna either smudge this in. I guess I didn't really need to smudge it. Just like add a little bit of a softer gradient sort of happening. I'm using the soft round brush for this, but just like to create just sort of a nicer transition of color or something back here, because having it as one color seemed a little boring to me. I like to do textures, I like to do gradients. I want to see how the darker value looks at the bottom as opposed to at the top. Let's see. Gonna smudge. Ooh, little bit, little bit, little bit. I feel like it shows up a lot more obviously. Ooh. I think it shows up a lot more obviously as I'm watching my screen on the stream than it is like on my iPad. Like the difference doesn't look that big, but I kind of like it. I kind of like the idea of there being a gradient. Let's do a little before and after. So before, it's just plain, but now it's got a little bit more going on back there. It's just like little things, that you can do, sort of add a little bit more oomph. And then do a little bit more to the clouds. Wow, we're almost at an hour streaming, guys. That time really does fly when we are lost in the middle of creation. So I'm looking for this Syrah brush again. Oh, I think my brush is a little bit too big. Sometimes I'll rotate my screen just to get a better angle if I need it. Just adding a little bit more life to the clouds, a little bit more. And for the sun, probably pop in with the soft round brush as well. You see, just like it's like turning the lights on. Just that little tap of yellow there really livens that up a lot. It's quite nice. Okay, I won't go that hard. I think I'll just keep it to the center. And then I'm going to be daring. Like this is really, like I said, just like real time off the cuff because I'm just like exploring. So this is pretty much how I do it. I mean, unless I'm given a very like specific, direction from the client brief, we're our own clients when we do our personal projects. So it's really for us to, explore and see where you want to take things. I'm thinking, I don't know why I have this idea of a half gradient sort of going down on these letters. So let's see if we regret this later. I don't know. I don't hate it. What do you all think? Are we going crazy? Have we gone off the reservation? I kind of like it. And again, I love this. Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, Daniela, for tuning in. She's got to head out, but thank you so much for tuning in. It's been so fun hanging out with you and enjoy the rest of your day. So yeah, I do not hate this at all, actually, this little half gradient situation. With the soft round brush, you get such a lovely, just like soft blended edge for that. That's real nice. I like that a lot. Okay, so I think we're at just about an hour, so I'll probably might go to like 5, 10, 15 minutes after the hour. We'll see. But like, should the of just be by itself? Should it just be white? White is okay. Like I said, I want it to sort of feel and be separate from out and office. So I don't know. Katharina says, I think it's something like the gradient looks fun and has a nice summer vibe. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm appreciative that I'm grateful that that comes off as summer because I was like, yeah, it does feel very summery. So I guess I picked a good color palette from whatever photo I had grabbed. I don't remember what it was, but okay, that's awesome. That's reading very summery. Um, hey, Bliss is in the chat. What's up, Bliss? Bliss is tuning in over on Behance. Howdy. Bliss was here for the first stream, so they know how far we've come since the humble beginning. But yeah, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep the of white. I'm not gonna hoot and holler about this. Um, Oh, okay, I guess that didn't really do anything. What else? Oh, thanks. Bliss says they're liking the colors. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think I've been I don't know if anyone has seen the I guess the leaks or the behind the scenes of the new Barbie live action movie that's supposed to be coming out next year. Everyone keeps talking about it, and it's a lot of beach Barbie and pink and Ken and stuff, and that might be in my head and might be possibly informing all of this. So funny, fun. So that's awesome. I think I'm going to. Oh, what did I do? Okay, what I did was. So I'm going to merge these layers. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to not do that. Oh, am I doing the wrong layer? I'm on the wrong layer. That's how you know this is live because I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my background. I'm going to duplicate it for safekeeping. I'm going to merge my layers, and then I'm going to recolor this and add some shadow. Um, oh my gosh. Oh, Bliss. Bliss says, I really appreciate your typism talk. If it weren't for your IG post, I would have missed typism. I have to go back for another listen to some of the talks. Very valuable. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Bliss is referring to the typism summit, which was actually, yeah, the first day was this time last week. And it was, or well, actually, no, the first day was last Wednesday. But in either way, I'm super happy that you're able to tune in and that you found my post and were able to join in for the fun. Yeah, I was a speaker and I got so much value from all of the other speakers that presented. So I'm also working my way through all of the talks still, and learning a whole bunch. But I'm really grateful that you were able to tune into mine and that you found it helpful for you. So that has made my day single handedly. So, what am I going to do now? I'm going to adjust the background so that I can, hopefully, I'm doing this correctly. Okay, cool. So that I can add some more shadow to this. So I've got this, and I just need a darker value of the same color, basically. Yeah. So, again, I'm just gonna, well, what am I doing? Okay, I'm just gonna add some soft shadow using this soft round brush because we enjoy the soft round brush. Sort of going with the theme of everything being nice and soft, I guess. I'm like looking at this little cartoon sun that I drew, and I'm like, huh, I'm not going outside today. They said there's this sort of, it's a funny but also informative Twitter account that I follow that will tell you like it is about the weather, and they rated today's weather a 1 out of 10. And that it's horrible outside and that no one should go outside if they don't absolutely have to. So that's all I needed to hear to know that I will not be going outside today, even though I kind of wanted ice cream. Because hot days are great ice cream days. Bliss says, I've been outside today, oh, and I'm considering going back out just to go to Mission Barbecue. Went to gym, left my phone at the gym, and had to rush back. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh, I feel like if I don't know where my phone is, I'm like having a halfway panic attack or something. But I'm glad you noticed that your phone was missing and that you're able to grab it and go back. But I don't know. Good barbecue is a good reason to be outside. That is an extremely valid reason to be outside. So I can totally identify with that. Man, I had some good barbecue. That'd be a great reason to go outside. Anyways, wishful thinking, don't mind me. Um, um, Bliss says great minds think alike. Absolutely, without a doubt. So, que más? Do, do. I'm really just going to show you guys how crazy my brain can be. Oh, actually, this might actually be pretty interesting because I sort of discovered this brush like the other day and it kind of has an interesting effect. So this box it brush, again, I'm sorry, but I don't remember what brush pack this is from. I think this is from one of the many Kyle Webster packs that are out. And as you can see, I have a lot of brush packs that I've loaded into here. But this box it brush has this interesting sort of, you see that? You see how those colors change as you draw? And it adds this completely like interesting, just like, yes, Bliss is, I love the box. Like, it's so, like lovely, right? Just like completely like, who knew that all of this magic was hiding in this brush? And now that I think about it, actually, I wonder if, yes, it's because of color dynamics. Okay, so Adobe Fresco had an update, one of its many updates. And some of these brushes has a, some of the brushes have color dynamics, which is a feature where as you draw, the colors will change. So I think for this Syrah brush that I've been using, which has like, that nice grainy texture like I used for the sand down there and stuff like that, it has color dynamic properties. So I have it unchecked. So as you can see, like I checked it and now it's just like, oh, it can be purple and green and blue and all of these things. Now it depends on, I guess, whatever primary color you have selected. So I changed my color chip to pink. So now it's got like pink and yellow and purple and like all these interesting things going on. So I've just been like so floored by this whole color dynamics feature. So if you ever want to explore your brushes more, push them, and just see what other things they can do, you might find that they have that color dynamics feature, which I think I'm like completely blocking with my head or something. Okay, maybe I made myself a little too big. Oh, was it this one? Okay, yeah. Okay, now I think you can see it, but there's like a little check mark at the bottom for color dynamics. So if you check that off, you'll get some interesting colors. And yeah, maybe I'll stick to the side instead of being at the bottom so I'm not covering part of the screen. Um, can you tell that I'm still a little new to live streaming on my platforms? But it's all good, all good. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun. Don't mind me. Like, how interesting is that? Like, let me zoom into that. Oh, what did Bliss say? Bliss, he has a pixel smudge brush in the summer 2022 brush pack is really fun to play with. Oh, a pixel smudge brush. Oh, let me see. Well, let's check that one out. I'm down to check things out because I just downloaded the summer 2022 brushes. Okay, so pixel. You said it's called the pixel. Thanks, Bliss. I'm just like, we're all just doing our best. What is this? Wait, is it called a pit? Oh, is it? Oh, like a is it the diffuse smudge brush? Do you remember? Trying to see which ones say smudge. Oh, some of these. A lot of these say smudge. Smart smudge. Summer wash stain. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, maybe I should do this on a different. Maybe I should do this somewhere else. Hmm, like, can you? I have to choose a color where you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's like got a really nice quality to it. Yeah, definitely. I can see a lot of nice texture going on in there. Wonder what summer wash is. Oh, that's friggin' awesome. Gosh, sorry. Sort of fell in love. I'm just like, wow, what the heck? Okay, so I'm kind of freaking out a little bit because he's like created this brush that literally feels like you're using like a watercolor brush or something. And this is interesting because Fresco has a separate section for watercolor brushes, which is why I'm just kind of like uh freaking out a little bit because I'm just like, he was able to achieve this with his summer pack. I mean, I guess it's the same concept because they're both pixel based brushes, but still very cool. I think I'm going to favorite that. That looks so cool. Oh, wow. Some of these, it's like you don't really notice the effects. This one is the summer wash light, so it just takes like a little bit more layering, I think, to sort of get the full effect. But that's like such lovely texture. Oh, that feels so fun. Yeah, that's so cool. It's called Pixel Smudge. Okay, let me see. So maybe I missed it because I'm scrolling too fast. Hmm. Maybe I don't have that one, Bliss. I'm looking at his one from last year. But also, I feel like sometimes, depending on if you download from the website, like online from Adobe, versus loading in the the brush pack that you can import into Fresco from the program. I feel like maybe there might be some like one or two brushes that might not carry over um, every time. Okay, you downloaded it. Oh, like did you? I'm not sure. Did you download it from within Fresco or did you download it from Adobe.com? Because I might just have to go back and grab it. Okay, from the site. Okay, yeah. I might just be missing some then because I didn't grab it from the site. I usually do, but because whenever he announces on Twitter that it's available, it's usually the version from the site and not the version that's already in Fresco. So I started doing it that way so that I could also put it in Photoshop as well. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, because yeah, that's like a huge bonus that you can also use these brushes in Photoshop. Sorry, don't mind me just like having a lot of fun. The the cool thing about like, adding some texture like this, you can, just like experiment with your blend modes. Usually I'll try to like go to soft light or something. Maybe that's like a little too soft, but like, you could sort of get the essence of the effect without it being like so dark. It's like, let's see, color burn, maybe like drop the opacity a little bit. So you still get like some of that rough, texture in there, but without it being so intense. Sorry, I think I'm gonna like, let me see, recolor that area. Yeah, I really like this. It's really fun for texture to the background. Well said. So the pixel smudge brush has this effect where it looks like it's pixelating or dissolving. Oh, interesting. I'm sure I could find it somewhere, but I'd love to watch him like creating his brushes in real time. That'd be pretty cool. I'm sure it's out there on the interwebs somewhere, but yeah, the fact that he's created all of these brushes and keeps coming out with more and more every single season is kind of gnarly. And then up here, I was playing around with the Syrah brush again and seeing just like how those color dynamics sort of change things for the pink. It almost looks like jewelry or something. Like I don't know how to explain it, like enamel or something. Also, kind of looks like confetti. Oh, that's an interesting color dynamic change. Okay, and this is what can happen sometimes when you have color dynamics enabled as well. You get some pretty interesting color variations. Hue jitter. Oh, interesting. So you can adjust just how much color variation happens by adjusting your hue jitter. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So it's just like, how many colors do you want? Do you want like a whole bunch or do you want like, just, you know, a few? That's really nice that they give you a lot of, yeah, plus like you can play with the settings. Um, I think that's like we could just sort of maybe use more of that, just experimenting with what these programs can do because the capabilities are so robust. So I feel like sometimes I share things with people or people share things with me and I'm just like, what? Or they're like, what? I had no idea. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's right there. It's under your nose the whole time. You just don't know exactly what button to press maybe. So yeah, that's really fun. I'm going to have fun with that. Liz says, I love experimenting in Fresco. Yeah, it's like it's my favorite thing pretty much. I'm just like, can have so much fun. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where else to take this or if I need to take it anywhere. But I'm thinking, okay, well, it's right about 12:15. Been at for a little bit over an hour, but this has been really interesting, really fun. And I've really enjoyed streaming today. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in live, to everyone who joined whenever you joined. Super appreciative for you hanging out with me. Um, this has been, yeah, so much fun. Um, I'll we'll see. Maybe I'll do a poll or something on my social media to see if people want me to do a stream where we animate this in some way. Um, but thank you so much for tuning in, whether it's live, whether you're catching the replay. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I hope you've learned a lot about how to use Adobe Fresco and a little bit more about my process, lettering, and finalizing a piece in Adobe Fresco. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend, thumbs up on Behance if you're watching there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another stream. Have a good one. Bye.